10 years into our permaculture journey, and suddenly we have a glut. And when you have enough food that it could be preserved and considered food storage, you need a home manager at that point, because if it takes 2 or 3 people to collect the harvest and bring it inside, that's one person in the house who needs to have a full-time job of being in the house and managing the food and getting it processed and getting it put away. This is my least favorite job. I'm just gonna come out and tell you, it's my least favorite job. I have the windows open so that I can smell the outdoors, and that's about it. Just because I love to be outside and it's my preferred vocation doesn't mean that as a mother I get to choose that for myself over the next few years. So, the way that I'm keeping my sanity in the house is to be the best housekeeper and homemaker that I've ever been. I'm keeping surfaces really clean. I'm decluttering down to what we absolutely need. Because I do have 4 people that I am kind of still having to manage when they're in their house so that it does stay clean. On a homestead, when you're bringing food in the house, your kitchen needs to be cleaner, you're going to make people sick. On a homestead where you're bringing animal hair into the house all the time, you need to make sure people take their shoes off, but you still have to vacuum a lot because there's a lot of dust. And so while the kids are gaining skills in farming, I'm gaining skills in homemaking. And one of the ways I do that is I have a few select audiobooks that I like to listen to. It's by Dana K. White, I think is what her name is. It's Declutter at the Speed of Life, and she talks about treating your home as a container, that you can't keep in your home anything that doesn't fit, that makes it hard for you to live. And I'm really working on finding solace and meditation and joy in this task that I have never enjoyed, and yet learning how to do it better so that I can really turn it into a skill for myself. And then when I know how to do it better in the home, I can pass that on to my children and also allow them to do better. And continuing to educate myself and continuing to better myself, I think, is the only way to get through this, because I'd rather not be in the house. That doesn't mean that I can leave, though. It doesn't mean that I can be whiny about being in the house. It means I actually need to change my attitude and say, well, what in the house can I do better so that I enjoy being in here? And a lot of that has to do with clutter. You can see we've got our craft room back, and the girls have their bedroom that they share, and I'm working very hard on keeping all the crafting in the craft room, and enjoying quiet moments of spinning, where before I was so busy I wasn't really spinning anymore. Enjoying quiet moments of yoga, enjoying quiet moments of laundry. And I'm trying really hard to take a page out of the women that I have seen who have turned their homemaking into a pleasure and a joy instead of drudgery. In a situation where needs change, it isn't the situation that you change, it's yourself. And that doesn't mean that I have to, it means my attitude needs to be good whether I'm outside working on the farm or inside working on homemaking. It means my attitude needs to be good whether I'm homeschooling my children or whether I'm public schooling my children. It means that the only thing in life I can change is myself. It's not that I need to shame myself because of my attitude. It's not that I need to change my attitude. It's that I need to find ways to have joy in this thing that previously I have not enjoyed. I need to find ways to find joy in what I'm doing now. That's the secret. I need to find cute clothes that I want to be able to wear while I'm working in the house. I need to give myself breaks to come down and spin so that I don't feel like I'm constantly just vacuuming. I need to get rid of things that drive me crazy in the house and that the family doesn't use, so that there is not awkwardness in trying to vacuum or wash walls. And I need to have eliminated things in the kitchen that cause clutter, that make it so that I can't cook easily. And by changing my surroundings and by giving myself the capacity to have joy in this job, I will have joy in this job, and it'll stop feeling like drudgery. So hopefully that's helpful. For those of you who are already amazing at keeping your homes clean and amazing at keeping 3 meals on the table, you are my hero. And for me, it's always been hit and miss. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I don't like to be in the house. But I'm repenting of that because it is an important skill to have. It is a vital skill to have for a happy family, that there be 3 meals on the table and the kids aren't just snacking. It helps your budget. For those of you who are worried about what's going on in the world right now with food prices and things like that, if you're gardening and if you're trying to bring whole foods into your home and put on the table, it is vital that you be able to cook from scratch. I do cook from scratch, but I have a very limited repertoire. I have a very limited list of things that I like to cook. And I have a tendency to just plunk it down on the table, and I'm trying really hard to take care with nice silverware and matching cups and regimented times for when things. I'm really giving myself a college education in homemaking the basics, not homemaking the farm wife version, homemaking the basics. 3 meals a day, vacuum, always have clean dishes. And it's, as I get into it, I'm a couple weeks into it. As I get into it more, the more I enjoy it and the more pride I take in what it looks like and how easy it is to keep on top of it. And the trick for me is just not to get bored, not to run out of processes that need to be refined. And since we're coming up on fall and canning season, that shouldn't be too hard. As I add canning into trying to keep things clean, that should be quite the challenge. And I look forward to it, but really the trick for me was to have something on an audiobook to listen to motivate me and to inspire me to keep going, as I do find the processes in the house less inviting than the processes outside. And I have had to talk to my husband a lot about resentment. Not resentment at my family, but resentment at a process that I don't enjoy. And so that's me needing to repent for not enjoying the process. Not being snappy and snarky at my family because I'm stuck in the house. So that is my what's the word? Self-searching, and inward inspection of my own heart and my own processes, and catching myself when I am acting selfish, catching myself when I'm looking at my goal and thinking that it's not worth it, and instead I need to be filling my time with things that give me joy and changing my routines if I hate them, and allowing the kids to take on more things as they age and as they get old enough to figure them out. And again, the better I get at homemaking, the more I can teach my kids how to enjoy homemaking and being a homemaker, and to be more efficient so that maybe someday they can handle keeping a home nice and also gardening, that they can be efficient in a way that I haven't learned to be efficient. So hopefully that was helpful. I will include some clips of me doing housework cheerfully. And the one thing that I have found that has been helpful is communicating with my spouse and saying, okay, we have kids who are in public school and homeschooling, which is adding a depth of complexity to my schedule. And so because of that, dearest husband, I need you to take on more of the farming things that happen around what I'm doing, because I literally don't have time to go outside and do any of the things that could be done. And so communication on that has been vital. Pointing out to people that because of the complexity of what we're doing right now, again, public school and homeschool, farming and homemaking, canning and harvesting, working from home, that instead of trying to keep everything on our plate, we're eliminating everything off of our plate that we can that's non-essential, supporting each other more, and deciding what is worth keeping and what is not worth keeping as far as the farm goes. Deciding what is worth keeping, what is not worth keeping in the home, and paring down our homeschool to the point where we can also handle the activities they have going on in the public school, keeping the public school classes small enough and non-intense enough that they can still manage to come home and get their school done for homeschool, and keeping our meals simple, keeping our meals small, and all of it is needing to work together to teach us how to be better family and how to be better people. So hopefully that was helpful. If you're interested in the hotbeds, they are the way to go if you live in a cold area, or also if you live in a place that floods because the beds are so tall and heavy. Those are on my Etsy store, Dirtpatcheaven, Etsy. And as the girls are working on hotbeds and things this year, I'm hoping they will get really good videos of what they're doing as children building their own greenhouses. And I think that'll be really interesting to watch them do that. So, toodaloo. Now, lest you feel discouraged, thinking, oh, she's just sitting there spinning. She doesn't know what she's talking about. My life is so messy. This is the room that I just finally cleared. This is the girls' now crafting closet, and this is the curtain that separates all that. This is the box of crafting stuff that I have not organized yet, that I do not have a place for, that will probably go to a secondhand store. There's garlic waiting for me to harvest, to finish harvesting, and an empty cardboard box that is there for no reason. And this is my downstairs living room that has musical instruments, fans, vitamins, saddles, old gardening bits, drying racks, food storage, seeds, soap making supplies, tax files, exercise equipment, cheese making crap, and nasty, nasty coveralls that haven't been washed since winter. Oh, and the kids' school backpacks. So, this is what I'm still working on and what the rest of my house looked like 2 weeks ago. Don't give up.